Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Tracy with JDL Threads. Thanks for joining me today, everybody. What I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be sublimating my first shirt with my sublimation paper and my sublimation HTV sublimation paper from HTV Run. Alright, so we're going to be needing my pink gilded shirt that I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using some sublimation HTV sublimation paper. This is actually the HTV paper that's going to transfer the design onto the shirt, since this shirt is not polyester. Then I'm also going to be printing my image out on this here sublimation paper. Just some inkjet, printer's jack sublimation paper that I really like. That it has a blue sheet that is going to be the print side and a white sheet that is not going to be the print side. This was just a particular brand that I saw that was reasonable price, and so I did get this. I did print out some other things on it and it came out pretty good, so we're going to be going with that. We're also going to be needing some heat transfer tape to hold down the design and some parchment paper top and bottom so that we don't get any ink bleed onto the heat press. Now I did design my design in ChatGPT. I'm not going to be showing you that part today, but I did design the design in ChatGPT off of another image that I saw and just asked it to create this design for me. So we're going to see how wonderful that design turned out. All right, everybody, so we are over in Leonardo Design Studio, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hit my folder to where I have downloaded my image from ChatGPT. I'm just going to drag and drop it over into Caesar Leonardo Design Studio. It's going to come up showing as a print and cut, and I'm just going to push next. It already has a transparent background. I don't want to do any kind of mask tolerances or anything. I'm not going to change anything. I'm just going to use the default settings, and then I'm just going to push next. You'll see that it's going to go ahead and go down the design to find out how do I want to do this print. Do I want to cut out those holes in like the C, the O, and the breast cancer symbol? So I'm just going to leave it as is because everything looks good to me like that. So I'm going to go ahead and push next. I'm going to leave include holes because I want those holes to be cut out. So I'm going to push finished, and it's going to bring it up onto my design board. Okay. Over here, I'm going to be using 8.5 by 11 letter paper. So I'm going to make sure that I have that checked here. I'm going to push page marks so that it took the page marks from right around the design all the way up to the top and edges of the paper size that I'm going to be using. So now I'm just going to elongate my design by grabbing one of these circles on the corner and pulling it out. Until it is the design of my choice. Like so. All right, that looks pretty good to me. So then all I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I send it to design. I'm not going to make any changes. And then as you can see here on the left hand side panel, it's going to give me the print and cut image, and then also it's going to give me the cut image at the bottom for the HTV sublimation vinyl. Okay, so you see it has these registration marks here around the vinyl cutout, and I don't want that. So once we go back into, let's just go back. If I go ahead and I'm going to make a duplicate of this design, so I'm going to go to edit, I'm going to go to add a copy, and I'm going to move this one to the side. And then what you'll notice that if I highlight this one and I just right click and I go to pass and then I just push weld, and then it will give me that exact cut out of what I need there. And then if I just uncheck the print and cut job and then I send the design, what you'll notice is that I don't have those print and cut page marks, and I can go ahead and just send it through the cutter without it trying to read those registration marks like a print then cut. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go back. I'm just going to push this guy to the side here because we do want to do the print and cut. All right. So I'm going to recheck the print and cut jobs printed here. And now, as you can see on my paper, I am getting these little red marks over here, which means that something is out of my print area. So I'm going to go ahead and push these page marks, go back over here and push US letter 8.5 by 11. I'm going to just go ahead and delete this one for now. Edit and delete. And let's get it back into my paper here. I'm going to recheck page marks. And now you see that my page marks are all the way aligned back at the top of my paper. Then all I would need to do is push send my design and send. Okay, now because this is HTV and sublimation, we're going to treat it just like regular vinyl HTV, and we're going to mirror it. So we're going to put it backwards, and we're going to go ahead and get that printed out so that we can press it onto our HTV sublimation material. All right, so let's go ahead and get that printed out, and I'll be back with you guys in a sec.
All right, everybody, so my paper is signed up and it is mirrored, so the sublimation has to be mirrored. So that's how I came out and love this paper. I have used it a couple times and it has come out really, really. So let's head on over to our printing sheet, where we got our HTV sublimation transfer cut out, so we can go ahead and make sure.
All right, everybody, so as you can see, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my little spatula to lift off my print and cut image, because I don't want to try to lift it off and then accidentally tear it. So I'm going to just use this spatula to lift everything up. You guys already know how I feel about this paper sticking to the mat. Can't stand it. So I'm going to just very carefully get all my print and then cut up off the mat. And then I'll also see if I can't pick out some of this leftover little blue sublimation paper on there, but that looks pretty good. We're going to see how it turns out. So I'm just going to lift these off. They're coming up pretty good. Just don't want to rip them. All right, that one's good. And I'm just going to lay all these to the side. And again, my little butterflies here, you see they're all individually cut. So I'm just going to have to put those down and put a little heat tape on them when I go to transfer it over to the sublimation HTV. All right, but I got to keep up with all these little pieces now. So I'm just going to put them over here to the side on my craft table. And let's pick up this one with the football. Want to just be careful not to rip it, you guys. Whoops. That one folded up a little bit. That's okay. All right. And it looks like now I've gotten it all up. So I'm just going to set that to the side. I'm going to put down my sublimation HTV on the paper. And remember, on the Juliet or Romeo, the cutter does start cutting from the bottom up. So because it's lifting up a little bit, I'm just going to put a little bit of tape down on it. Even though I have more rollers on here than I have on the Cricut, it should be fine, but I'm just going to put a little bit of tape just in case. Like that. And like that. And we don't want this to cut all the way through. We want it to be just like the HTV, where it just scratches the surface, where we can just weed it out. So I'm going to go ahead and put my mat in to the machine, getting it lined up. I'm going to let my wheels down. I'm going to come on over to my computer, and I'm going to push send to cutter. Alright everybody, so all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to remove this one little piece of tape here, and I'm going to cut a little piece off the side of my paper, and I'm just going to lift it off just to make sure that it cut all the way through before I move my paper off. That way if it didn't, then I can just go ahead and do another light cut. But you know what, I forgot that I can do those little test cuts, so I gotta remember that I can always also do that. Let's see what's gonna happen here. So far I don't see nothing. That doesn't mean that it didn't cut, I just don't see anything. So I'm gonna come over here to my screen. I'm just going to go to cut settings, and I'm just going to cut it one more time, but I'm going to bring that cut force down to about a 3, maybe a 2. Alright, and I'm not going to take my paper out. I'm just going to leave it in there and recut it again on a force of 2, and just to make sure that it cut, but not all the way through the paper. I don't want it to do that. I just want it to cut so we can leave the backing on like the HTV. So let's cut it one more time and see what happens, you guys. All right, everybody, so I'm over to the heat press now. It has warmed up, and I'm just gonna give my shirt a nice lint press because it is said that you don't want to have any lint on your shirt when you get ready to do sublimation or anything for that matter. So we're just gonna go ahead and get that lint off, and I'm gonna push it in and give my shirt a quick press. My heat press is actually on 400 degrees, and it says the Sublimation HTV should only be at, I believe, 300. So I'm now gonna follow the directions, but I would advise you guys to follow the directions and put it on 300. I'm just gonna press mine on 400 when I go to put down the Sublimation HTV. And I'm just not gonna press it for long, and I'm just gonna press it for about 10 seconds. So just please follow directions, guys, but I'm just going to do a test on this one just to see how it turns out. So yeah, so this is the sheet I'm talking about. It's supposed to be pressed at 300 degrees for about 10 seconds. So I'm just going to find where I want to put it down. Looks like I got a lot of stuff on here off of my cutting mat where I had it laid. So I'm just going to cut some of that extra graffiti crap off. I'm going to lay it down to about where I think that I would like it. We're going to do 4 fingers this time. I'm going to push it in, and I'm just going to give it a press for about 10 seconds. All right, I'm going to let it up. And I think they say that this is a cold peel, so I'm going to take it off and let it cool. All right, everybody, so the Sublimation HTV has cooled off a bit, and I'm just going to go ahead and peel it off nice and slow. And oh my goodness, you guys, when I say I can barely see it, I can barely see where it is. Can you guys see that? I can barely see it, but I can see it, but barely. Let's see. So I'm going to have to come to my cutting table to see if I can lay it down correctly and get it set up correct. So let's come on over here to my table where I can do that. All right, everybody, so I have the shirt laid on the table where I can just kind of see where everything goes a little bit better. Now, as you remember, I did cut out my sublimation paper all the way around with the little cutouts, and I guess you can do it this way or you can just leave a full sheet, but I wasn't sure what the blue parts of the paper were going to do, so I will maybe on another print check that out and see how that does. But for this one, I'm just gonna go ahead and do my very best to line everything up on the Sublimation HTV vinyl and tape it down so that it doesn't move when I get ready to press. And that already looks like it got off center a little bit, so I'm just going to pick that up and try it again. That looks better. Okay. I know y'all probably saying, this girl with that little skinny tape. Yeah, I'm still using the little skinny tape, y'all. Got the bigger rolls coming up, but for right now I'm just using the little skinny one. I'm going to tack all these down. And a little piece down at the bottom as well. All right, you guys, so there it is. I got it all taped up. Now we're gonna go head on back over to the heat press. We're gonna press it out and see how this sublimation shirt turns out. All right, so it's done. I'm gonna go ahead and lift it up. I'm gonna get on my heat gloves because it's gonna be pretty hot. All right, head on back to the craft table with me, you guys, and we are gonna see how did it turn out. All right, you guys, so here's the big reveal. Now, my only thing that I will say is my heat press is on 400 degrees, and y'all, I don't know. It looked like it kind of burnt my shirt a little bit up there. What's going on? So I'm gonna have to turn it down a little bit. So hopefully that'll come out when I wash it. I don't know, we'll see. But anywho, let's see how the design turned out. You ready for the big reveal? Because I am. Let's pull it up and check it out. I mean, do y'all see this? I mean, like, oh my goodness, this is a fail. I don't know what happened. My sublimation paper is not peeling off the top. It's just stuck to everything, y'all. Look at that, just a fail. I don't know what I did wrong, so it's back to the drawing board. So I guess we'll just use this shirt as the test dummy. All right, y'all, so I gotta try it again. Let me print everything and cut everything again, and I'm gonna try it again. See y'all in a few. All right, everybody, so we are gonna try this one more time. So actually all I did was I went and turned down my heat press from 400 degrees to 350, and we're gonna see how this does. Now I'm still gonna only press my Sublimation HTV for 10 seconds, and then we're gonna give that a cool and let that peel off, and then we're gonna press the actual sublimation paper for a whole, I turned that down to for about 48 seconds, 50 seconds instead of 60. So we're gonna go with 350. I'm sorry, I was talking and I almost left that on a little bit too much longer than I was supposed to. So we're gonna go from 350, excuse me, from 400 to 350, and from 60 to leaving it on to press to about 50. All right, so we're gonna let this cool off for a second. Just shake it a little bit. All right, let's give it a peel. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and put my design back on top. And this time when I printed it, you guys, I didn't cut it out all the way. I just left it on the paper, full sheet. So I'm gonna cut off those. I'm gonna cut off these black cutting line settings for the cutting machine because I don't want those to print on my shirts. And then I'm just gonna try to line it up as best I can. Let's see here. So I still can't see, y'all. Still can't see, and this is why I cut it out before, so I could just lay it right on top of the cutouts. All right, everybody, so this time I've got the shirt all taped down on a full sheet of paper. So hopefully I lined it up good because I still couldn't really see. This is just a test shirt at this point, so I'm gonna push it in and we're gonna see how good I was able to line it up. If not, then I'll just have to go ahead and do a die cut. Is that die cut where you just cut them all the way out like I did the first time, where the stickers can peel off the whole paper or the vinyl can peel off the whole carrier sheet, and do it that way if I can't get this lined up right. But we're gonna go ahead, clamp it down, you guys, and see how I do. This time we're gonna press it for 50 seconds at 350 degrees. All right, so I don't know if I can see that ink all the way through the paper. I'm not sure, you guys. Let me go ahead and give it one more quick press for about 10 seconds. I'm just gonna hold it down. All right, everybody. They say the second time is a charm. Here comes our quick reveal. Let's see what happened this time. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now that's better. That is beautiful, you guys. Now, as I said, you guys can see right down here on the football, I didn't get it lined up all the way correctly on the football, so I did go over the Sublimation HTV just a little bit, so it left that little bit of ghosting right there. But I did get the rest pretty good. Oh, and the gloves, I messed up a little bit right there. But you guys, do you see that? The rest of it came out pretty awesome, right? So just a little bit more practice, and I think next time if I have all these cutouts, I'll just cut it out like I did before and line it up a little bit better. But this is 400 degrees. Oh, hot mess. This is 350 degrees. Turned out beautiful. All right, guys, so that's a learning lesson. Do a test before you do the real thing, guys. All right, so I'm so happy with the outcome, so I'll just go ahead and I'm going to put this on a different shirt now since I have the settings and the temperature correct. And yeah, so now I know what to do this time. So again, my name is Tracy with JDL Threads, you guys. I hope you enjoyed my video, and remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.